Well, it's finally out. The Godzilla vs. Kong trailer is finally here. Took us long enough, so you're probably wondering, what did I think of the trailer? Well, I thought it was great. I mean, wasn't what I was expecting. I didn't really think we were going to get that's what we were going to get. I thought it was going to be like some scenes here and there, and that's it. Just characters talking. I thought this would be very like the marketing plan of Godzilla 2014, where they didn't show much. They showed like they would show like this big scene, which they did, but that'd be it. That'd be it. It's kind of like 2014. But Adam Wingard, the director, stated that in the trailer, he stated that it may seem like it's a lot, but it's just the tip of the monster iceberg. His words, not mine. And I'm excited. Though the news today, this broke that Godzilla vs. Kong has been delayed. Just a week. Instead of coming out on the 26th of March, it's going to be coming out on Wednesday, the 31st. I don't really understand why, but hey, they're doing that for some reason. But anyways, now if you were to ask me, which team am I on? Team Kong or Team Godzilla? Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not really on a team. I mean, a long time ago, I was Team Godzilla all the way. I think because of hearing like everyone now like, oh, you're not on Team Godzilla, then you're not a real Godzilla fan. Then I just think from those comments, I just think it's just better for me to just say, whoever wins, wins. I don't know. I'm fine with whoever wins. If Godzilla wins, he wins. If Kong wins, he wins. I don't care anymore. I just kind of want a good plot. Just something interesting about it. But as I was watching the trailer, something about it kind of hit me. Something there made it very clear that Adam Wingard had a particular vision that he was going for with this movie. The fact that the main plot would be revolving around a little girl, part of an Iwi girl on Skull Island, was interesting and made me realize that Adam Wingard is doing something different that we hadn't really seen from the other MonsterVerse movies. And so it made it very interesting. Something about it stuck out. It's like, Adam, are you doing something smart? I have a feeling these are going to be well-rounded characters. Now, the use of Millie Bobby Brown, her character of Madison Russell, I'm very interested to see what her plot's gonna be. I think what they're doing is they're having Team Godzilla, Team Kong, and I think Madison and the one kid from Deadpool 2 seem to be Team Godzilla, which I'm totally fine with. But I'm not like worried, like, oh hey, I hope they'll do something interesting with it. Yeah, I hope their subplot works, and I hope she works. I bet she'll work in the plot. She'll work pretty well. But I'm kind of expecting to see Millie's usual performance. Where, oh hey, she has the moment where she screams. Where, literally, she's about to die from Godzilla or something. He's about to shoot his atomic breath at her, and she just stands there and screams when she could run away. It happened in King of the Monsters, where Ghidorah's right there. She's a small human. She could easily run away and get somewhere safe, and she just screams, and then she just doesn't take it. And I don't know. Just that's, to me, it's like bad screenwriting. They didn't really realize that wouldn't make sense if they went that way. Now, if you're wondering, if you're probably saying, oh, you know nothing about screenwriting. You haven't even probably written a screenplay before. Well, here's the thing. I do. At least I try. I try to write screenplays. But you gotta do outlining, which sucks. Then you can write the script, depends on the pages, and hey, it works. I've only completed 2 things, but that's kind of it. Don't ask about them. But back to the trailer. I hope they do something with her that's unique. And I like how her whole subplot's like, hey, there's something going on with Godzilla that we need to see. Which leads into Godzilla. They're finally doing what I was wanting with this version of Godzilla, where he was a bad guy. There were some fan theories that in King of the Monsters, the reason why Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra are released to go off and fight, and Godzilla's gonna fight them, is because he turned evil. Now, to be fair, this version of Godzilla really hasn't been a good guy. He's kind of fights these monsters for his own selfish reasons. He isn't like Gamera from the Heisei era Gamera movies, where he didn't do that, where he fights the Gauss for the betterment of mankind, where he's trying to save people. That's not this version of Godzilla. In 2014, he literally goes through a bridge and kills thousands of people. Not really a good guy. He's more of an anti-hero. He does things for his own reasons. He's not like the Punisher. Yeah, he's not like the Punisher. He's just not like Deadpool. He's just an anti-hero. This guy that fights these monsters for his own reasons, his own rivalries. He does it for the betterment of nature. Really. So, the question for me is, why is Godzilla destroying things? Well, when you see the Warner Brothers and the Legendary logos, one has Kong, one has Godzilla. And if you pause it, and you'll see people. I think they might be setting up that Godzilla has also fought mankind. Possibly. Even though he was worshipped, hasn't really been a good guy. And in 2014 in King of the Monsters, they've also shown that, hey, this Godzilla doesn't really care about mankind, and he will kill people if he has to, just do what he needs to do. My guess is Godzilla is probably being mind controlled. They probably create the villains. For the past months now, us Godzilla fans have known about a secret organization known as Apex. Who they are, we have no idea. My guess is they might have created a new version of Orca, and they're using that, making Godzilla go berserk and start destroying things. Now, how would this work? What's the Orca? If you don't remember, or if you've even seen King of the Monsters, well, the Orca is this. It's a device that takes the biosonar of the Titans, as they're called now, and they use that to do anything. To calm them down, agitate them, not quote-unquote control them. But we could be seeing like that here, where they only created this new version for the sake of making Godzilla go evil and stuff. That's my guess. But some think, because in the very beginning of the trailer, if you look closely, as they're running away into the subways, the subway system, something flies over. Spoilers, seems to be Mechagodzilla. Again, I said spoilers, so therefore, just go with it. And some think he's mind controlling. I don't think that, and here's why. Yes, King of the Monsters, technically, thrown out everything realistic about the Monsterverse. That is true. Also, it's giant monsters. But there was a sense of realism to the last movie. There is a sense of realism to it, where, oh hey, there are things about it that seem realistic. And I think, yeah, I could see a Mecha Godzilla existing in the Monsterverse. But having him have like some synthetic skin, I don't know. But in the toy leaks, his hands are kind of like this. His hands are this. Now maybe they can retract and be a normal hand. That's probably what it is, but I don't know. There is one shot of the film where Godzilla's hunched over, like his arms, he's breathing his atomic breath. His atomic breath seems to like not be at full power. My guess is it could be that his atomic from the last movie, from using it so much, he's kind of diminished it. But the other thing I could see is this. Perhaps he's not using his atomic breath at full power, and probably won't use it at full power until the very end of the movie. Now, I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be going to different sites, getting radiation, so then he's going to power his atomic breath. That couldn't totally be happening. And he needs a bigger source than going into the Hollow Earth. That makes sense to me. But the question is, what is the role of Mechagodzilla? Why is he in the movie and why do we need him? My guess is they might be pulling a Mysterio. When Spider-Man first fought Mysterio in the comics, he framed Spider-Man stealing money. He proclaimed himself as a hero and challenged Spider-Man to a fight on the Brooklyn Bridge. They did that, and so in that, Mysterio beat him. But then Spider-Man finds out the truth, and Mysterio reveals the truth because it was the 60s that his name is Quentin Beck, and yada yada. They could be doing something like that here, where they're framing Godzilla as a bad guy. But in fact, he's kind of the victim in a sense. He's destroying things not on purpose, but because he's being controlled. And with that, they're going to use Mechagodzilla saying, hey, we're here to save the day. But it's going to be revealed that, hey, that's not true. That's not true at all. And I'm very interested to see how they use Mechagodzilla. I'm entirely fine with him in this movie. I just hope that he has a purpose and works in of itself in the movie. I don't want him to feel like Rodan or Mothra in King of the Monsters, where if you pulled them out of the movie, they don't change anything. They're just like, oh hey, this aspect of it. Like, that's the one bad thing about that movie, is that they don't have a big lasting role in the movie. That they're just kind of like these things for you to be into. It's like, hey, we gotta have them in the movie. I feel that with Rodan. He feels like he has to be there. Mothra, I think at parts works, but for the most part, I just think doesn't work. That's just me. And I'm very interested to see what they do with this movie. I really am. Kong looks really cool. Now, a lot of fans are kind of mad that, oh hey, Godzilla didn't land one hit on him. Well, here's what they're probably doing with the marketing plan. Trailer 1, as this one, is Kong-centric, trying to get the audience, in this case, being like, oh yeah, he can fight Godzilla. He can fight him. Because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Godzilla's going to win. It's like, well, no. Just because he's a gorilla doesn't mean he's weak. I mean, here's the thing. Gorillas are strong, man. They could kill you. They can. So I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to be like, okay, here you go. Here's Kong. He can fight. There you go. He's an admirable foe. He can fight him. And they're going to show that. Trailer 2 will probably be Godzilla-centric, showing him as he lands his own hits and probably maybe giving a little more. I hope not a whole lot. I hope the 2 trailers we get to see simply just are like, oh hey, here's the things. Like, I hope they show shots from this trailer while adding in some new things here and there in the next one. That's it. I don't want them to be like, let's just go for it and just go for it. But again, I'm really excited. I'm actually really excited that Godzilla's a bad guy. I personally really prefer Godzilla as a bad guy, and here's why. Because that's what Godzilla was for me. This indestructible kaiju, this monster that you couldn't bring logic. There was no logic. It was this monster that even in that first movie they thought they killed him because that's what it was. They subverted the expectation of a monster movie where he was indestructible. In my full honest opinion, I feel like if there was actually giant monsters, they would be indestructible. I mean, okay, think about this. Let's say you took Tokyo Tower and took a monster and put it at the height of that. I feel like just from the height alone, our weapons wouldn't be able to pierce it. That's just my honest and full-blown opinion on it, is that I think they're too powerful. That's the thing that I love about Godzilla, is that he actually has like powers. You know, has that. To me, he's the greatest superhero that's not even a superhero. Well, actually, he is, because some of his films have him being the bad guy, the anti-hero, the superhero, this and that. And that's what I love. I love Godzilla. It's really hard to explain to some, like, oh, you like Godzilla? Those rubber suits, man. It's like, but the way I put it is that for the time, they had no choice but to do that. That was the only way for them to actually do the suits. Because originally in that first movie, they actually wanted to have Godzilla be stop motion. But they didn't have the budget. Or in this case, they had a release date and they had to get on the movie. But anyways, I hope they make Godzilla this foreboding threat. And I think he will. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. I have faith in Adam Wingard. I think he'll do a really great job. So, the screen story was by Michael Dougherty, Terry Rossio, and Zach Shields. Now, Michael Dougherty and Zach Shields were the writers of the last movie, The Monsterverse, which is one of my top 10 Godzilla films out there. I'm sorry, I will agree, it's kind of bad in places, but I want to do a re-review of that. I still want to do that. I want to do a re-review of Godzilla 2014. I want to do reviews on some Godzilla movies, and then the Kong movies to lead up to the March 31st release date. And again, I'm really excited. But anyways, Terry Rossio actually originally was working on a Godzilla film in 1998. Well, 1994. See, what happened is that him and Ted Elliott, who were also writers on the Pirates in the Caribbean films, they were brought in to write a script for a Godzilla movie, a reboot. An American reboot. And they wrote a script about Godzilla that was created by Atlanteans to fight an evil alien space monster called the Griffin that shapeshifts and stuff. That script, which actually they were actually given a story credit on the 1998 film, which is not true at all. They have both stated that they had no involvement in that script. They wrote their version, some scenes were taken from their version and put into that version. That's why they had a story credit. The film is in development now, and getting to see him help out and write a Godzilla movie and get to see it actually happen, I think is really cool because he has some involvement in it. And I have read the script, and I actually quite enjoy it, and I think it entirely was better than what we got. I think Mike Dougherty and Zach Shields, I liked their screenplay for King of Monsters. It's not great, but I liked for what it was. That movie, for what it is a fun monster movie, and that's what they set out to make. I wish it was more like Godzilla 2014, just minus the actually showing the fights. But the screenplay is actually by Max Bornstein, who was a co-writer on King of the Monsters story, Skull Island, and then Godzilla 2014, and Eric Pearson, who's well known for being the writer of Thor Ragnarok. Now, does that tell me there's going to be comedic characters saying this and that? Probably, but I won't be surprised there isn't. I kind of hope there isn't from just the way this trailer presents itself. Yes, it comes off as goofy, but I have a feeling the movie is going to be a little more different than what we well, it's time to finally end this video. And I'm really excited for this movie. Now, I do want to get back into doing reviews. I really do. It's just that, there's certain things about it. I'm really excited. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for doing this movie. I'm pumped for doing this movie. I'm pumped for this movie. I'm excited. I really am. I would like to do a stream sometime. I do know this. When the movie comes out, I do want to do a live stream. After, when it comes out. I'm not going to do a watch along or anything like that. But I am really pumped and excited for this movie. Literally, when I was eating breakfast. And then I watched the trailer and I stopped. And as I watched it, I geeked out. My inner geekness squealed. It's like you guys when you guys went to see Endgame and got all excited. But this was a trailer, mind you. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I would take Godzilla movies over superhero movies. Just putting that out there. But anyways, my name is Shinoden Reviews, and yes, I'm going back to saying that again, and I'll see you guys in will probably be the review of Godzilla, or in this case, Godzilla, 1954. I'll see you guys next time.